Hello everyone, this is Sarah and welcome to my live video chat. Now the first thing I need to know is, can you hear me now? I tell you what, I was so devastated last week when no one could hear my live video chat. It was so sad. I mean, I just bawled my eyes out and I called my husband. I said, I had so many things I wanted to share with my friends this week and I couldn't share any of them because they couldn't even hear me. Well, last week I started out the video with the red nose because at Walgreens, hello Marlene, can you hear me? Well, last week I started it out with the red nose because I'm a big fan of the Walgreens Red Nose Day to fight poverty in America for our children and also around the world. And I also know that they use the Boys and Girls Club as a way to help the children, and I really like that program. So, can everybody hear me? Hear me? Hear me? Hear me? Good morning, everyone. Well, today my coffee is in my pineapple jar. I'm drinking cold coffee today. And this is, I think it's called Toasty Coconut. So yummy, and it's perfect cold. Yes, Marlene can hear me. Yay! All right, so let's do a little test today. If you can hear me, say, yes, I can hear you. I'm so glad you're all here. I'm so glad you're all clinking in. And I hope that you had a wonderful week. I can't talk. I'm so excited that we get to do this week. Now I have a whole bunch of things to talk about. And I also have a little demonstration of how to make a leaf to go with the rose because I had a question from a lady that wanted to know how to do it. And I'm looking to see if her name's there, but I don't see it. So everybody make sure you clink in. And this is one of the new patterns that I was going to show you last week. It's my jar cozy and it's the pineapple. And I have plans to do a grape, a strawberry, and it might have been an orange or lime. I cannot remember. I'll have to look at my notes. But be looking for those in the future. They're a lot of fun to make, and they're perfect for parties. And I love to do the jars and make the cover because then people can just take their drink home with them and they've got a jar with a cozy. And you can get a whole container of like 12 jars for like $6 or $8. And if you watch for coupons, which I do, at different times of the year, the mason jars go on sale and they also go on clearance, and grab them when you can. All right, so let me answer one of the questions that I got this week. And just to kind of give you an explanation, the first thing she said was, why couldn't we hear you? I couldn't make it through the week. I always listen to you the next day on YouTube while I'm waiting for my doctor's appointment. I was like, oh, I'm so sorry. So kind of what happens is I have a program that I use because I use 4 different cameras and 2 screens. And what happened is that particular program had an update. And when it updated everything, it changed all my defaults. And I have a default for my wireless microphone. I used to use like a headset, and then I had one I put on here for a while. And I just didn't like the quality of the sound. And so we came up with this wireless ones. I don't have to hold it. I don't have to pin it on or put it on my ear or anything. I can just talk and it works. Well, it was supposed to be my default, and when the program updated, it changed all my settings, and so I lost my sound. Praise the Lord, and thank God my husband is super duper smart because he came home and he fixed it just like that, and I was able to get right back into doing my videos and things. So anyway, just an explanation of what happened. All right, so the first thing I want to answer, that was the first question. The second question I want to answer is I had a lady send me an email, and you know, a lot of people aren't used to YouTube. Some people use it every day and they know how to find everything. And one of the questions she asked me was, how do I find some of your older patterns? I see all your new stuff. I subscribed, I clicked the bell, I get the updates, but what about the older stuff? Where can I find that? And so let me click down here. I printed off this picture. This is, if you click on the link for my YouTube video, this is what comes up. And this is the introductory video. You can watch that. It says, you know, what my YouTube channel is all about. And then you'll see right there where that arrow is, it says playlists. And you just click that where it says playlists, and the next screen will come up, and it'll be all my categories. I have like all the Back to Crochet basics are all in one category. The crochet along that we're doing is all in one category. Baby stuff, scarves, dog stuff, it's all in those categories. And that's how you find it. And I'll put that link there on Facebook so that you can find that. But that's how you do that. It's really easy. There is a search at the top of YouTube that you can put in, like, say, I don't know, baby booties, and then a whole bunch of baby booty patterns. Make sure you put crochet, or it'll come up with knitting and tatting and all kinds of other things. Unless you're into all of that, then that's great too. And that's the way you can find a lot of things. But if you're specifically looking for my patterns, just go to my YouTube channel. And like I said, I'll put that link in the comments when we're done. And just hit that playlist and all the categories will come up. And you can just go through there and look and see what you can find. And I have, I think, almost 500 in there now. And just remember this, when I first started, some of my first ones, I wasn't trying to do tutorials. I was just trying to answer some questions, because a lot of people prefer a written pattern. A lot of people prefer patterns with pictures, and then a lot of people prefer videos. And so I was trying to answer some of those questions. And so just keep that in mind when you watch some of my really old videos. We've come a long way, baby. I love to change and grow all the time, and so I hope that as we continue to progress, we get better and better to meeting the needs of what other people like, because everyone does things differently. Like I said, some people prefer written patterns, some people prefer patterns with pictures, and some people prefer videos, and people like me, I like it all. So anyway, that is to answer that question. Now, the third question that I'm going to answer today, and we're probably going to go a little bit long today because I've got a lot of stuff to talk about, because we're doing 2 weeks in 1 week. So remember, if you can't stay for the whole thing, you can always watch it later on Facebook or on YouTube. Okay, so the third question that I got is, let me click back to this other camera. Remember when we made the roses about 3 weeks ago? The simple little crochet roses, and we put the pin on the back. Well, a lady asked me, and I think her name was Tina. I can't remember right offhand. I have to look at my email. And she asked me if I could make a leaf to go with it, because she's making a headband for her granddaughter. And I said, oh, I have a really simple pattern you can do. And we're going to use an H hook. You're going to need your needle and your scissors, and just some green yarn if you want your leaves to be green. And let me show you this real quick. And of course, I need my glasses on so I can see. And all you're going to do is you're going to make a slip knot, and you're just going to chain 9 chains. Now, leave yourself a nice long tail to begin with, because we're going to use this to sew it onto our rows. Alrighty? Get my scissors out of the way there. So now I have these 9 chains. We're going to begin by putting a slip stitch in the second chain from the hook. There's our first chain. Don't count the loop that's on your hook. All right? So there's our first chain. We're going to go in that second chain, pull up a loop, and then pull that loop through the loop on our hook. That's a slip stitch. All right, now we're going to place, excuse me, a single crochet in the next 2. So we'll go in, pull up a loop, yarn over, and go through 2. Go in, pull up a loop, yarn over, and go through 2. So we stitched a slip stitch and 2 singles. Now we're going to stitch a double crochet in the next 3. So yarn over, go in the next chain, pull up a loop, yarn over, go through the first 2, yarn over, and go through the second 2. And we're going to do that in the next 2 stitches. And you can see how it just gradually got a little bit bigger. So we did a slip stitch, 2 singles, and then 3 doubles. All right, so now we have 2 more stitches. So we're going to stitch a single crochet and then a slip stitch. All right, so that's just one side of our leaf. Get some more yarn out here. There we go. And what we're going to do is we're going to turn our work and we're going to stitch down what we call the opposite or other side of that chain. And so we're just going to repeat what we did here going backwards. So we'll go in that first stitch and stitch a slip stitch. Then we'll stitch a single crochet in the next one. Oh, I'm stitching with the wrong thread. Don't do that. That will not work. We need that for sewing that onto our rows. See, I make mistakes too. I just did that on purpose because I want you to know that I make mistakes. Just kidding, I didn't. All right, slip stitch in the first, single crochet in the next. Then we're going to do three double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. A little more yarn out here. There we go. Now we're going to stitch 2 single crochets and end with that slip stitch. And I'm going to go ahead and cut this yarn. I got a little knot there. They always happen at the most inconvenient times. So here is our leaf. We did a single, excuse me, let me start over again. We did a slip stitch, 2 singles, 3 doubles, a single, and a slip stitch. Then we turned our work, slip stitch, single, 3 doubles, 2 singles, and a slip stitch. And this pattern will be on the blog that I always write to go along with this if you need to see it. Alrighty? Alright, so now I'm going to tie this off. And this is the top of our leaf. You can see it's a little wider at the bottom. Turn it over. We're going to take our needle, thread that one on, and then we're just going to weave that in. We'll just go right down in there. Go through stitches, not holes. I always like to go up a stitch and go right back the way I came. And I'll do that 2 or 3 times depending on what I'm making. All right, we'll just throw that string up there. So now we have a leaf. And let's grab our rose. Let me take the pin off of it for now. And this is the one of the roses that we made a few weeks ago. We just take our thread and put it on our needle, the one that is on the end. And you're going to put it wherever you want. I'm just going to stick it like that. And then we're going to go to the back. And all I do is just make a few whip stitches right at the bottom of the leaf so it can stay in place. I want my leaf to be free to move. But if you want it to stay, you can always do some extra stitches on the back like that. And I usually leave this because if I'm going to stitch it onto something, I can use this to stitch it on with. But if I'm not going to, say I'm going to hot glue it on something, then I'll cut that string. And you can do 2 or 3 of those leaves or however many that you want to. And don't forget about these neat pins I told you about that don't have the curl on the end. You get those in the beading aisle in your craft department. Alrighty? Alright, let's go back to the front cam here. I invested in a plastic mat that you put under the table because I'm constantly moving back and forth and I kept getting stuck in the carpet. Alrighty, I'm checking, I'm looking at everybody, making sure, did everybody clink in? I see we've got a great group today. Clink. Alright, well I hope that helped you with adding a leaf. And one thing that you can do with this leaf, if you want it longer, you can chain more and add more double crochets in the middle if you want your leaf to be just a little bit longer. But this is a great size for those roses. Alrighty, and let me show you something. I did this picture frame. This is a picture frame I had on hand, and here's those roses and the leaves that I used. And then I added this, and this is a blog. I didn't do a video, it's just on my blog of how I put it together and everything. And I just love it. I had this frame on hand, and it happens to be a real deep frame. It's one of those ones that you use for like butterflies and stuff. but the glass broke out of it, and you don't need the glass if you're going to make a 3D picture. So if you're looking for something like this, you can use those roses, you can use those leaves, just add a chain with slip stitches for your stems. And the pattern for this is on my blog. Like I said, it's not a video, it's just a blog, just to show you how I put it together. And I have an idea to do one for, like this one's for spring. I want to do one for summer, for winter, and for fall. Spring, summer, winter, fall for the 4 seasons. I think that'd just be a great idea. Anyway, I wanted to show you what I did with my leaves. Alrighty, now the next thing I want to show you is what's behind me, and I've got my other cam set up so you can see it up close. What I did there is I had this yarn called Heart Strata, and I'll show it to you in just a second. And I made this beach bag. It's a long 16-inch bag, and the bottom of it is 12 inches around. And it's super easy to make. It's all stitched in double crochets, and the video should be out Thursday or Friday for it. And it's really super easy. And this is the yarn that I used. It's called Heart Strata. It's a t-shirt yarn, and it's made, let me grab my glasses so I can tell you what it's made out of. It is made out of acrylic and nylon. And I think it's really cool. The only thing is, the only place I've seen where you can buy it now is right on the Red Heart website. It's discontinued in any of the stores. But you don't have to use this yarn. It's a number 5. You can make that beach bag. And I also made the hat, you can see up on top, with this yarn. And it's made out of a chunky number 5. It's a chunky number 5, and you can use any chunky number 5 to make that beach bag and that hat. And I just love this yarn. If you can get a hold of some of it, it's a gem. It really is. It's sturdy and thick, and also really stretchable and moldable, and also holds its shape. So if you can get a hold of it, but the pattern for the bag is already out there. The video will be out there Thursday or Friday, and the same thing with the hat. So the hat's made out of the same stuff. So, and I really, really like both of them. I just called it the big old beach bag and the big old beach hat, just for fun. So anyway, that's one thing I wanted to tell you about. Another thing is, if you missed it last week, we did our pineapple stitch hat, and I really love this hat. I wrote the pattern a few years ago. Someone had given me a doily. My brain went blank for a second. And I thought, what a cute idea to do the top of a hat. Can you see how pretty that is? And this is Red Heart Stripes, and I have another one I did for the demo in blue, because this is a little bit bright, and so it's a little hard to make the video out of it. But I used a blue, and it's really easy. It looks hard, but it's all done in double crochets, except the edge of the hat is done in half double crochets. But it's all double crochets and chain spaces, and it's really easy, and the video is a step-by-step. So you can do it. You can certainly do it. Can you use burn-at home decor? Yes, Samantha, you can if it's the same weight. Now, I don't know what weights the burn-at home decor comes in. I've seen it online, but I haven't been able to find it in stores just yet. But if it's a number 5, you certainly can use it, and it'll probably work really great. Okay, so the other thing that we did is we also did our Harmony sample blanket crochet along stitch, and we did the simple chain. It's just 3 double crochets in the same stitch, and we've done 5 stitches now. And if you've not gotten involved in this, it's okay. You can go ahead and start it now, because it's really easy. Once a month, we're adding a new stitch to our blanket. It's just learning a new simple stitch each month, and then at the end of 12 months, we're going to put a trim on it, and you can make it as big as you want or as long as you want. It's real versatile and really easy and lots of fun, and a great way to use up all those yarn scraps. All right, that's one thing that we did. Another thing that I finished up was my cotton adjustable visors, and these are super fun to make and super easy and great to wear. And the neat thing about them is you can make it like this one I made, and I just sewed the end together right to the size of my head. And so you can just put it on and cover your eyes, keep the sun out of your eyes. But if you want to make it adjustable, you can do that with D-rings. Let me show you on this one. We add the D-rings to one end, and then you can put the other end through, and it's completely adjustable for any size. They're made out of cotton, and I really prefer the thicker cottons for this pattern because you want that brim to be able to hold its shape. And another thing that you can do is you can add that, I know it sounds crazy, but it's your weed eater plastic that goes in your weed eaters, you know, that spins, and it comes in those long coils. Well, you can stitch that in the edge of the brim of the hat, and it'll help it stay out a lot stiffer as well. I just don't put it in them because if you used a peaches and cream or like sugar and cream and some of the stiffer cottons, it holds its shape just fine, and then you can toss it in the laundry. And I like to make one for every outfit. I'm getting ready to go on vacation in a couple of weeks, and I'm going to make one for every outfit, so I'll have one for every day of the week. Okay, so we did that, and then last week we also did this video by special request. I already wrote this pattern. It's my Denver football cow, and you can wear it around your neck. It's just a tube. You can wear it around your neck. You can pull it up on your hair and cover your ears. And the request was to make it in Boomer Sooner colors, so I did. And as I was doing the video, I thought, those are Christmas colors too. But it's a really simple pattern. It's granny square styles. You do some stripes in the middle, and you add this football to the middle. And the truth is, these, if you do fundraisers for schools, you can do those in your school colors, junior high, high school, whatever age, or your favorite teams. You can do it in their colors for the stripes. You can add a soccer ball, a basketball, a football, a baseball. You don't have to use the football. And they make great fundraisers, and they sell really well, because something that I learned, I don't do them anymore because my kids are grown, but something that I learned when you're doing the craft shows around the schools, whether it's elementary through, or through high school, they like things in their school colors, and you can make little things in the school colors and they will sell really well. They're great for fundraisers, and they're great just if you're doing a craft show around a school. So anyway, those are some new patterns that went out this week. We've got some videos to do this week. And then the last thing I want to talk to you about is my yarn finds. Well, I went to Hobby Lobby because they were having the 30% off, and I did this last week. And so I haven't touched these because I wanted you to see what I found. Well, the first thing I found is this Red Heart Colorscape. Isn't that gorgeous? Have any of you used this yet? It's very, very soft. I'm going to probably make myself a cowl for fall because it's just a gorgeous yarn. Super soft. Let me pop on my glasses because I want to see what this is made out of. I can't remember. Let's see. Oh, it's 100% acrylic. It was a little pricier. It was $5.99 at Hobby Lobby, but I got my 30% off. All right, then I picked up some of the new Hobby Lobby yarns. This one is 100% cotton. It's called Sugar Wheel Cotton, and they have lots of really cool colors. And to me, it feels similar to the other cotton, Karen cotton, that I have up there. Alrighty, now I've got them in this little basket because I was going to pull them out of my bag, and I thought that's just too noisy. Okay, so the other thing I've got is this. This is called Toasty Sweet, and it's acrylic and wool. And this one is thinner. I'm going to say, it says it's a 4, but I think it's closer to a 3. But that's one of the new. If you see the Yarn Bee, that's Hobby Lobby brand, just in case you're wondering. All right, then I found this one, and I'm going to do something for breast cancer awareness with this color, with those beautiful colors. Super duper soft. And this one is acrylic and alpaca, and that's called, is it Delish? Yes, Delish Boutique. And so, October, my mom passed away from breast cancer, and I was there with her with all her chemos and stuff like that. And so I know that their heads get really sore when their hair falls out really fast. And so I want to make something really soft out of, because this is really soft, and I love these colors. I'm going to do that this fall for breast cancer awareness. Okay, another one I found was this one. Isn't this interesting? It's really flat. It is a Yarn Bee. It's called Lux Lollies. This one's called Marzipan Plan. And let's see, this one is made out of 100% acrylic. This reminds me of the Red Heart yarn. Oh, I've lost my train of thought all of a sudden. but it reminds me of one of the Red Heart yarns that I've made some shawls out of. I used one that's called Abstract. It's real soft, but it's not like, it's kind of varies. It gets thin and thick, thin and thick. And it's real, this one's really pretty, but I thought it was interesting because it's really flat. So that's another one I got at Hobby Lobby. And then they had this little teeny ones, and these are called Little Dollop. And let's see, this one is acrylic and cotton mix. And I'm beginning to really, really like the yarns that are cotton and acrylic mix. And I like them, like this would be a great size to make a little summer hat maybe, or headband. Let's see, it's got 1.5 ounces is all. And I had a whole bunch of these. But the thing with the acrylic and cotton mix, let me take my glasses off, is you get the absorbency of cotton, but you also get where it'll hold its shape with the acrylic. And also acrylic has a little bit of stretch where sometimes cotton doesn't. It's just a great marriage, cotton and acrylic. Perfect. All right, so that's my finds at Hobby Lobby this week. A lot of people don't care for Hobby Lobby because Hobby Lobby has all of their own brands. But if you look, they're making a lot of things, like they have their own scrubby as well, you know, scrubby yarn. And they're making a lot of yarns that are similar to some of the other ones that are out there. And I know I talked to the lady in the yarn department and I asked her about what everybody's talking about, and that is the raise, $1 raise in a lot of the yarns. Some of them have gone, like the basic I Love This yarn has gone from $3.99 to $4.99. And I asked her about that, and it has to do with they have to pay more in wages because that's the law. Hang on just a second. My mouth's getting dry. But also the cost of bringing things in is getting more expensive, and a lot of the process of the dyeing and making the yarns and things like that, it's just getting more expensive. And to me, you all know I love Red Heart yarns. When it comes to yarn, I'll go with Red Heart first because Red Heart's been really good to me as a designer, but I really love their yarns, and I love being able to use Red Heart Super Saver because it's a good inexpensive yarn. It's very durable. It's great for dog items, and it's great for household items. I love, as far as cottons, I really, really like Peaches and Cream. And if I'm going to get a really soft cotton, you know, I might go with I Love This Cotton. So depending on what I'm looking for, depends on what kind of yarn I might purchase. But I always love to try new yarns and new patterns with new yarns. And I've got so much new stuff coming. I just can't, I'm driving people crazy because I've got so many patterns that I'm writing. And, you know, all the patterns have to be tested for grammar, for, you know, numbers and wording. And, you know, it's so funny because I'll write something down and I understand it completely. And then I'll have, you know, one of the girls read it and they're like, I don't even know what that means. Because we all don't think alike, you know. You know, you see something, I might say, turn it around, and I'm thinking, turn it around, and you're thinking, turn it around. You know what I'm saying? So we all think differently, and I think that's why it's great to have, you know, written patterns, pictures, you know, photo tutorials as well as videos, because if you don't understand it here, you can always go over here and, oh, it's written out here, I can see it better, or here's some pictures, it explains it better, or, you know, and so, but one thing I always really encourage people to do, and I know we love videos and they help us a lot, but at least take, you know, time to look at a written pattern, you know, and read through it, get familiar with the terms, you know, because you might say, well, what's a chain? You know, what's a single crochet, or what's a triple crochet? You know, so it's kind of good to at least get familiar. I'm not telling you everybody has to learn to read a pattern. I'm just saying you're going to miss out on a lot if you don't at least get a little familiar with how patterns are written. And one thing about, you know, written patterns, years and years ago when I was first learning to read patterns, they're totally different than what they are today. And I remember it was all abbreviations, commas, paragraphs, brackets. You know, we still use a lot of those things. But I feel like patterns nowadays are more easy to understand. Is that how you say that? Are easier. Yeah, I need a grammar check, don't I? So anyway, I know I talked a lot. We talked about a lot. I covered a lot. But I just felt like because we missed last week, I just had so many things that I wanted to share with you. And so that's everything. I think I showed you all the new patterns and all the new videos coming out and that are already out. And also, one thing to remember, and I'll let you go with this, I always write a blog to go along with this live video every week. And you can go over to my blog. It's Posh Pooch Designs on Blogspot. The blog link is right there on Facebook. And if you're watching this on YouTube, it's right underneath in the comment section, or in the, not the comment section, but the note section underneath the video. And you can always read through the blog, the pattern that I showed you with the leaves on there. There's links to all the new patterns and videos and information that can help you if you can't remember what we talked about, or you just want to check it again. And so I always do that. I try to link it up. I don't always remember, but I try to. Because, you know, like I always say, I want everyone to love crochet. Whether you're a man, woman, boy, or girl. And I've said it over and over. If I could teach my little pooches to crochet, I would. You know, because it's such a wonderful, wonderful art. It helps with healing. It helps with depression. It helps with thought and calming. And it is one of the things that keeps me peaceful. And so I just think if everyone would learn to crochet, it'd be a better world. I really do. So anyway, I'm so, so glad that you're all here today. I see so many of you have clinked in. And what I would do, I'm sorry, I was reading the comments, is after I do the video, I try to go through and read the comments. If you have questions, you can put them. If you have comments, I'll read your comments. And I'm always open to what I call constructive criticism. If you have something that you want to see or something you're confused about when it comes to crochet, you ask that question and I will do everything in my power to try to answer that question. If I don't know the answer, I'll try to find you one. Well, I'm going to let you go with that. And I know I jam-packed your head full of information. So watch the video over and over again so you can remember it all. All right. I want y'all to have a wonderful, wonderful week. And I'll catch you next week.